Hello again, my dear students. This is your teacher Shai, and welcome to my vlog. Let us start our vlog with a review from our past lesson last week. So our lesson last week is about bias. So take note that bias can mean two directions. It's either favor or in favor of, and can be resulted to unfairness. And there are 7 common types of bias. And they are gender bias, religion bias, anchoring bias, confirmation bias, conformity bias, and halo effect. Since we are done about biases, for our vlog for today, we are going to discuss about prejudice. Are you ready, students? Let's start it! First, let's define what is prejudice. Prejudice refers to a positive or negative evaluation of other person based on his or her perceived group membership. Prejudice is often used to refer preconceived, usually unfavorable feelings towards a person or people because of their sex, gender, beliefs, values, social class, age, disability, religion, sexuality, race or ethnicity, language, nationality, beauty, occupation, education, criminality, sports team affiliation, or other personal characteristics. Take note that prejudice often ends in discrimination. And here is the example for prejudice. A school refuses to admit a pupil with facial disfigurement because of concerns that she may upset other pupils. This is an example of prejudice because it shows discrimination towards disability. And now, here are some common examples of prejudice. First in line is racism or racial prejudice. Racial prejudice is the idea that groups of people exhibit different personality characteristics and can be separated based on the dominance of one race over another. Let's have some example of racial prejudice. All Chinese in the country are considered virus carriers due to the COVID-19 diseases. It is one example of racial prejudice because we all know that COVID-19 virus came from the country China, and we also assume that all Chinese people are carriers of the COVID-19 virus, and sadly, it resulted to discrimination. So the next example is ageism prejudice. So what is ageism prejudice? Ageism prejudice is a prejudicial attitude towards older people, old age, and the aging process. And here is an example for ageism prejudice. All adults should not be hired because they only become a burden, especially those who deserve to retire. It is example of ageism prejudice because based on our example, most of us believe that old people is not that capable of doing work unlike the other younger ones because we believe that older people are weak. And because of that, older people experience discrimination. Next is sexism. So what is sexism? Sexism is a prejudice based on sex or gender. And here is the example for sexism. Women are considered weak and lack of strength and ability to do the work of men. It is an example of sexism. And now, let's have some exercises. What you're going to do is to tell whether the situation presented is a prejudice or not. Are you ready? Let's start with number 1. A store manager did not hire a competent man just because of his tattooed arms and neck. It is prejudice or not? The answer is prejudice. How about the next one? Your friend's father talks ill about the government because he thinks the president is incompetent. It is prejudice or not? The answer is not. How about this third one? He's considered dumb because his grades in all subjects are poor. Prejudice or not? The answer is prejudice. How about this another one? The newly opened restaurant in our town accommodates only rich people. Prejudice or not? The answer is not. Good job, students! And now, let's have some recap. Take note that prejudice is a feeling towards a person or group member that often ends in discrimination. And the first 3 examples of prejudice are racism, ageism, and sexism. So that is the end of our vlog today. I hope you've learned something from me and from my vlog. But before we end, don't forget to like, share, and hit the notification bell for more videos. Again, this is your teacher Shai, and thank you so much, students.